blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you recall there was no vote taken, there was no motions made. And I quite said I did not want to be a part of that. This here sounds like the council did it. If you recall, I said, don't say it came from the council, because it did not come from the council. I'd like to see it in place of the council, requested the mayor. I'd like to say the mayor and some council suggested they notify officer, leave it like this so they get down and then add on to the end. Calvin insisted he was not a party to this proposal. No motions were made or votes taken.
I wasn't here that meeting, so I can't. I wasn't here that meeting, so I was absent that meeting.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah.
I can't answer that one.
That's agreeable.
I don't recall it, but I'll object to it either.
I don't object to it, so we can do that. You can amend it. I mean, we can make a motion. We made a motion.
Did we,
I don't understand what you want, Gene.
yeah, didn't we,
Well,
didn't we tell them what we wanted to do?
candidate was what he did.
You're saying it wasn't a majority of the council.
I know
He's
it's
saying there was not a specific
There
vote.
wasn't a
We
vote.
had
Well, it
discussion.
doesn't say that there was a vote.
Yeah.
That's discussion, though.
And he wants it clear that he wasn't a party to it.
Did you get an email on the subject prior to the letter to him?
I read my emails. I do know what was sent. I do know what it said.
I think y'all got emails.
But it didn't come from you.
About-
Yeah. All I care
No
is...
matter, I know Scott and Diana did. We were supposed to,
The letter with the,
Dr. Scott wanted
Wanting to
to
use
approve
your
it.
cell phone and be in
Oh.
the car more.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the other letter that, you were.
And I realized the police officer said, like the mayor, you could do that. But I didn't want it to sound
No, I
like
can't.
it came from
Not without you guys' approval. I can't do nothing with it.
Well, we didn't approve it.
Without
It
council.
was a discussion, and I think somebody went ahead with the letter.
Again, what do you want on the
But I'm
end?
satisfied if it, 2 minutes was...
He wants it to read more like five
Mayor and some
Suggested.
council, I got
and
that.
some council members, on discussion of the mayor and the council,
Some,
we recommended that he do this. Gene Hellman specifically stated that he didn't want to be a party to that discussion.
as long as it says, as long as I'm not a part of that, that's all I care.
So you make the motion to do that, and then we have to vote, right?
Well, okay, I've moved the minutes be corrected to read in place of the council, read the mayor and some council suggested. We notify the officer, blah, 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 down through that sentence and then add, did Calvin insisted he was not a party to this proposal. No motions were made or votes taken.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
I
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now, we approved the agenda.
did this.
Yeah, we did that.
As amended, we did
All
that.
in favor?
Aye.
No public present except Betty. You got some comments? Well, we're going to the reports and concerns of city employees. Start with Ashley. It's been 3 days and
No complaint.
no big problem.
Just getting
No report.
started.
No tickets written. No
One
warnings.
accident.
One accident.
One
right?
accident.
But otherwise,
Okay.
Welcome to Schaller.
Yeah.
Marcia?
I've had a request from a resident who wants to know if they can put in their own dumpster at their house versus just having trash bags. They would have it built to the spec that would fit on the garbage truck. They want to know if that's possible and if that would change pickup date if it is possible.
I want to know a little bit more. I mean, they're planning on paying the commercial rate like any other dumpster pickup. And or if they plan on doing this long term.
Yeah, they want to build it for their home permanently. They want a dumpster, just like a commercial dumpster, built to specs that would work on our truck. But they want to know if they're allowed to do that, and I mean, the fee isn't much different if they still only have weekly pickup from what the actual garbage fee is anyway.
Up on the hill.
And so they want to know if it's feasible, if you guys allow it, and if so, if they need to change their date then Friday, because that's when he does the most commercial, or if he would still do it on Tuesday just because he goes down that alley. Said I couldn't answer that. That's up to
Where's
you.
it going to be sitting?
That's what I said, my
They already
concern
got a
is where
pad
it'll
poured
be.
for it.
You what?
They already have a pad poured for it.
Why would they pour a pad if they didn't know they were doing it?
Is it up in Rex's old house? Most people, is there some there? Okay.
No, it's over on Hanover Street.
Who is it?
Messerschmitt Marl, Amy Messerschmitt, Mike Marl.
Okay, and they want to put it in the backyard?
Yeah, back. I'll back. Their pickup is
Off
in
the
the alley.
alley.
Yeah,
So it won't be an
it'd be on their yard, and I mean they just want to know if it's a feasibility. She runs an in-home daycare, and I don't know if she gets enough garbage that she feels she needs it or what.
What's their fee for a weekly pickup of a dumpster versus the way it is now?
The only difference is it's $8 on the landfill instead of $6.50 for a single pickup. The garbage is $12.75, just like home.
Isn't the commercial like $40 per?
Isn't it $40 per container? That's what I was thinking.
Obviously, if you have like Collins, that we have to pay for it. That's like a commercial dumpster. See if we took a small trailer out down there one day. Picked up some dirt, nails, whatever, $89.
Where were they going
Yeah.
today? Route. Where were they taking the dirt?
Right over here, on the edge of town.
Oh. And I don't think that they ever did anything. Did anything get done at all with Jake?
Pick up a monster van.
Hmm?
Tell me.
Oh.
I brought that to her attention, Grant was supposed to do it before he went out.
It's
The
a-
cement up at Margis?
It's not done?
Uh-uh.
I'll call him.
And it looked like he only did, like, I think she said that there's only frame for, it isn't for the whole part that's missing.
Okay, we need approval of this dumpster deal.
I can't tell you.
I need to
rate.
know the
Yeah.
fee thing.
So what,
She's looking
are you
at it.
gonna change the fee?
No. Well, I was.
We just
her
want to
fee
let
will
them know what
change,
the
yeah.
difference is. I wouldn't want to say something.
This should be a
I'm
commercial
not
rate.
gonna pick, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna pick up a dumpster for the same cost as three.
Do
bags.
other people that have businesses in their homes, do they have to pay a commercial, or is it just? or is it
40 and
resident?
15, 55. 40 and 15.
So it's $40 pickup or per month or
Well, per month,
Per
40
month.
and 50.
Plus
It was-
15,
plus 15?
where otherwise it's,
12.75 and 6.50.
And I'm assuming that's the fee she'd pay then? Or you were coming up with a fee a different way? What were you thinking?
Well, because there is a,
Versus 12.
He might take from his business.
What's he do?
we picked up
No.
garbage at
Morrow.
restaurants yesterday, commercial,
Mike Morrow.
Mike Morrow up here in the corner.
right?
What's that?
We picked
Morrow.
up
Morrow,
garbage yesterday,
Yep.
next to Winkler.
garbage.
Okay.
You get
Yeah, well,
Sparky's.
that's the other
Sparky's
commercial
is
rate,
Friday.
because we gave some commercial people if they didn't have a dumpster, we
Yeah,
went
but
to
they
the
only
other
have
rate, but
to
they were
pump one day
$12.75 and $8. But with a dumpster, it's 40 and 50.
I'm acceptable if they wanna pay the.
If they wanna pay that
Yeah.
rate,
Normally,
based on the location
I
of
was
the
told-
dumpster and whatever, I'm
Then
okay.
it's okay.
somebody said you were there.
But then they pay 40 and
Yeah, they
15
called,
if it's
but
picked up once
they
a
have
month,
vehicles
if it's
parked out.
picked up
They were-
multiple
No, once a
times.
week,
Yeah.
once a week.
You weren't
Every
selling.
Friday.
Once a week pickup, just like normal,
I
but it'd be a
wasn't, no.
dumpster pickup versus the garbage bags.
So you need a motion for that?
I imagine.
I would make a motion
Gene
that
had it.
I'll
I'm-
second it.
I'm agreeable to the dumpster if the commercial rate is applied.
I'm just in the marshal to do that.
Need a second?
I second.
Second by Diana, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And then, the previous part-time cop wants to know if you wanted to pay for his uniforms or return them.
I'd say pay for 'em.
You wanted to pay for them? Okay. I will do that. And I had a request, and they will probably formally come in and ask you themselves, but something for you to think about. The home on Dundas Street that is for sale, that is just north of the new ambulance building. People want to know if it'd be a possibility that you'd rezone it commercial, allow them to put a form of business in there. They didn't tell me what kind of business, they just were asking, and I said it would totally be you guys that would have to decide, and they should formally come talk to you, but just to be thinking about that.
I'd say, yeah, I'd say no until we hear the proposal. I mean,
That would be the
Yeah, be right behind Auto Pro. That-
the old Brenner. Oh, okay.
Yeah, be where,
Okay.
Jay?
Jay Brenner used to live, yeah.
And Ashley's scheduled for the academy, we have that done. So,
That starts when then?
August
When it
29th,
works, I think the neighbors,
August what?
29th,
I think the neighbors of that property.
And ends
have
when?
since.
December 9th.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we'd have to have
Proposal of some kind.
I'd have to know what it was.
That's what I told her, but she just wanted to know if you'd even be thinking about it, because she felt that since it was right there next to all that commercial anyway, and there's kind of that alleyway thing, and it just kind of was offset of away from, she said, and she knew other people had some in-home businesses, et cetera, so she thought it might be a possibility. She didn't tell me what, so.
But she has something in particular in
Yeah, she has
mind.
something in mind, because she wanted to see if it'd even be feasible with you guys first before she went and looked at it, and I said, they kind of have to know all the particulars, so I told her there was a meeting today and a meeting on the 20th if she wanted to be on that agenda, so. She didn't show up today, so I
Was
guess.
she wanting to do it in the same building or tear down the building?
My understanding, same place, the way she spoke, so I don't know.
In-home daycare, that doesn't have to be zoned commercial.
Yeah, I think there's, in our old ordinance, there's something in there about beauty parlors and that kind of thing.
That's just your rate on your utilities is different.
Yeah, there's something else that separates it.
Oh, yeah, on the
Something there
residents,
about-
yep, restricted residents, yep.
$2,005,246 or 247,600. About 247,600 gallons a day. How much water we pump at the tower? Okay.
So what has changed from,
I don't know, did we lift any manholes, see where it's coming from in the last 10 days?
And we've looked at manholes this
No
summer, just
concern.
different things, and there really hasn't been any anything out of the ordinary.
You had 428,000 gallons one day.
That was that 3-inch rain we got.
Yeah, rain should not end up in the, except for the falls.
Unless it's piped right straight into our sanitary.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but if you got 3 inches of rain, you'd have 3 inches of rain in the lagoon. More.
But that don't go through the flow meter.
Oh, through the flow meter,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
That don't go through the flow
Right,
meter.
that's a small thing. So, rain gives an immediate increase?
We're approaching,
Well,
you're 6 feet down there on that gauge, not East Lagoon.
we're about 5.5 right now. What, the 80% is mainly achieved if every pipe in town is brand new. That's where that 80% comes from. But with the older pipes, and you get a surge rain like that, just like people's personal lines. It's still, yeah, a lot, but I mean, that's why when you get a surge rain like that, the groundwater leaks into those, like, personal lines, stuff like that. I know when we did Connie Davidson's, we put a camera down her personal line right after the project, and they had no water going in their house, and there was a constant steady flow still going down her personal line. So, and then there's just tree roots and everything. So, I mean, that's just one person's in town.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know how much that accounts for, but
Some places there's gotta be an increase.
up there, it still goes up. I bought that manhole probably a month ago, right in front of like where Tom Kessel, and I mean that's still going. So
There's something out there.
yeah, I don't know. I imagine it's a field down there. I don't know.
We started to address that.
Yeah, we suggested that we plug that and notify the people, and when it starts coming up in somebody's basement, we need to do that. If this don't slow down in the winter, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
If this groundwater.
No,
I mean, we can't just talk about it.
I'm not pursuing that. And then when we get down and fix the power, start on another one.
So if we plug it up there,
Gonna be expensive.
do you tell people first?
But try to counter out.
That's what he said. Tell them
Yeah,
and
you had
then,
to tell them first.
It's gonna have to be done when
Yeah.
people are home.
Yeah.
so they can tell.
I don't, I'd be against plugging the thing in the system. I'd much rather locate it, see where it goes.
I could actually.
We don't.
We did this thing in the class last year. They come around and do a smoke test.
We did that.
Did you guys do that?
We
Okay.
did this before we ever did.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
That still don't tell us where that's.
Gene, was you walking along that day? Me and you and Dave, was you in on that?
I wasn't in on that one.
On
You
the
did that.
camera project?
No, no.
The smoke.
Smoke.
Oh, yeah. But that don't tell us where that line actually goes.
Well, it tells you if somebody's downspout going directly in the storm or into the sewer. You'll have smoke coming out the downspout unless it's got a trap in it.
Well, that, we didn't find that, but we did find some, going into a basement. So house was full. That was,
2 or 3 places where it come out, that lot up there.
Yep. We've talked to the DOT on that line, you know, so I don't know if they have done their camera or not. He just said if there was a problem, he would notify us, and at that point, they're gonna measure how far that would go.
That's a blowout. That's flood from where we dug in.
Yeah, it blew out again though. She came and talked to me.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it's gonna keep doing it
They ain't got
till
nowhere to go.
yeah, the tiles are fixed. So
But they're gonna water jet it to the diameter of the pipe,
okay.
so that their road drains. And he wasn't sure without looking at the map if they had a 25 foot or 50 foot from the center of the road easement.
they have 100 on it.
50, yeah. And so, from there, we'll have to hook on and do something with it.
I think that's all part of the same project, all the way from there down to that.
But if that water
It's all part,
from the road is getting in our sanitary,
yeah.
it's coming out to the top of the ground first and then running down. Because that
Yeah.
line stops there.
I really think that's
Miss
true.
Morgan's.
Somewhere behind Arlene Miller's.
Well, it's
In
plugged
that
down
area.
there too. They dug it up
Yeah,
twice.
we dug it up in a couple different spots. And right where it's plugged, right where that blowout is, it's pretty much plugged the whole way. I mean, we went another 30 feet and it was plugged there too.
Up there in the Mission Force Street, you couldn't get a half inch rod, couldn't poke a half-inch rod in. It was solid,
It's plus
just like
solid.
a rock.
Yeah.
So that,
It takes off like it's going right underneath Arnie Miller's home.
it hits right
And
where
it
the
probably
rock.
does.
I'm sure when Tom King dug that hole, they hit it.
So it's don't turn corners except the manhole, so I must continue in that direction.
Well, she needs to be notified and
Yeah,
corrected.
I think, I certainly.
Anyway,
Her son does Tyler.
whatever plan you guys think it works,
Get it
something needs to
together
be
and
done up
get it-
there.
Just let me know, because there's obviously money. If you
Yeah.
just start digging, you can't just start digging and keep digging and digging. It's just gonna cost money. Or, you know, whether you want to do
think we have
smoke test or...
bring in someone with equipment.
I can't think we can go every 150 feet and dig a hole in something's yard. I think we can identify maybe I'm wrong, quicker the other way.
And you still got the issue from Earl Whetstone's going north.
And we know that's not a PVC pipe, it's clay tile.
Mhm.
Lundell could track.
Same thing that goes through that manhole back there.
Crack it.
Earl's.
Correct.
That's clay.
Yeah. Yep.
I say that's good. I mean, we said we're going.
You want Lundell to track it?
Well, this amount of water, then second, third, fourth, fifth, is that basically average when it gets down to around
You know,
190,000? That's still a lot.
For a few months actually before this, we were actually down in the lower 100,000s. But for some reason, I don't know if it was after we had a couple big rains or whatever, now the average is back up to where it's, I don't know why it fluctuated that much, but that's what it was
Any
at.
significant, the swimming pool, any effect after the,
I guess I could go back and look to see if maybe filling the swimming pool maybe affected it, I don't know. But there for a while, we were down to where we were almost within 20,000 gallons of the water tower and the lagoons.
somehow we gotta figure out where
Yeah.
the water's coming
Well,
from.
it's one of all these.
And I'm sure there's some that, I don't know, if somebody built their home and they put a tile around the foundation, they tiled it into the sewer. How are you gonna know that? How are you gonna address that?
That big.
I don't know how many gallons you,
Well, they'll have to correct that. I mean, if like this one where we got such big inflow, if you plug that and back it up, we'll find out where.
Find out where it's coming from.
but
Gene had another suggestion. Run some iron as far and then locate it.
Yeah,
dig there
yeah,
and then
Lundell could come
run
in
a
and
camera
watch it
again,
with,
but you're,
something steel tape and a locator, they can even tell you the depth. And then if it gets past those houses and gets into the clear, you probably have to dig it up and go again. I don't know how far you can go in one shot, but yeah, I think we've got to know where that sewer line goes.
the trouble is the one manhole where you could really check the swimming pool.
Yeah, that's.
It's got
Yeah.
6 inches around, you gotta tear up that alley
Yeah.
to get down to it.
That's a big lid,
I don't
too.
know why that was,
That's a cement lid too.
I don't know why that was put there that way.
Yeah.
but we could calculate that pit that's flushed, you know, to flush the media filters
Yeah.
there. But it's probably 2,000 gallons. You know, not
Yeah.
a lot, but we're
Well.
still doing it a couple times a week.
Hey, figuring
You do it every 4 days.
250,000 a day, 2,000 gallons is spitting in the mud.
But that'd be the only thing on that end, is what I'm saying.
All right.
Concentrate on that end and make a plan.
'Cause we popped the manhole, Brian, down by where we were taking those board tests or whatever to measure the depth, and it didn't seem like it was gushing through there. Nothing was completely out of the ordinary. I didn't
On
think.
First Street,
Yeah, well, we popped one there, and then we popped one on Perth, and
you're
then
catching all of these
yeah, and
down there.
it didn't. I mean, it didn't seem like it was.
No, it really wasn't. It probably was about that much in there.
There's no, we didn't have that lift and feeding that thing.
You
They'd
know,
have water up
It
here.
could,
and
it could all be coming in down there, you know what I mean? But the one place we've seen it up here is up here.
Mhm.
When those people from, when we were down to the lagoons, Don mentioned when he came to work on the aerators, look at these cell drained down to where they were tipping,
Okay.
and they were still running. And
We usually shut them off
it's
at
supposed to be shut off between
4 feet.
4.5
when
and
we usually do
4
it.
feet.
Yeah,
They
4
were
feet
tipped.
when we usually do it.
I asked him that day, they were, of course, we're filming again. I said, how long are you going to babysit these things? I mean, this is kind of his pet project, and he says, not very long, because last time I came, he says,
The
they
problem
were
with those things,
eye-centered and tipped, and it kind of voids warning.
yeah. What I don't like about those things, the fuses tend to blow quite often. I wish they'd went to a breaker type system, but we've been going through fuses pretty regularly. They'll just blow. We got to go buy fuses from Lake Electric.
How
We just
big
bought
a fuse
some
is
more.
it?
They're 15.
They're all 5 inch.
Just a round cartridge?
Mhm.
And
And we
then,
got one.
No,
You
there's
just buy one.
no. We buy a box of 10.
How often will you,
Oh, is that what these are?
Yeah, that would be the Lake Electric.
have you asked him about it?
Don thought so. They should put it.
Yeah, Don thinks the same thing. They should have put in breakers.
it sure would make
Well,
sense.
Yeah.
I think we need to contact that electrical engineer and ask him about it.
Yeah, 'cause I mean it's 150, what, 150 bucks a pop for fuses, and we probably went
For 10
through
of them?
for 10,
Yeah. That's
and
what
we probably went
bills
through
are
16
for
already this
question.
summer. I think we've changed them out a couple times.
There must have been one out the other morning on the.
Yeah, every once in a while, yeah,
Lagoon.
yeah. So we just, we put them in as we go, and
Sounds like you didn't calculate.
Anyway, we gotta watch those levels and then say.
what I usually do is we start them at 4 feet and shut them off at 4 feet. If they tend to start tipping before that, we'll just.
They shouldn't, because the sludge.
They never started tipping at 4 feet before.
They were down pretty low.
Because I remember Don Frankel said they're not as effective if it's below 4 feet anyway, so there's no point you have them on. So.
Anyway, we put a riser down there a year ago.
And that's my fault.
I stopped the inflow and the pipe hasn't been hooked up.
That's my fault. I, for some reason, thought it looked hooked up, because I didn't really look at it that close, and it's not. It's my fault. We'll get it hooked up.
What is that exactly?
It's just if we get a surge of rain and it's
Before-
the bigger pumps kick in.
We had good numbers.
Right.
Sample. And then we had bad numbers. And Franklin and Michael I said, it's contamination. Somebody dumped the hooker off, stuff in there. And you could see where, when all of those pumps kicked in, it was you were down there when they kicked them all in, how that stuff blasts out of there. It was going out under the manhole, that lid had been floating up there. And of course gullies down both sides. And it was running raw sewage in both lagoons. So they came up with this 2-foot riser. You know, you're all right if you're feeding both lagoons, but I think it's at a 10 or 12.
Foot? Oh,
No, that one that goes out in the lagoon. Isn't it 12?
Yeah, I tried lifting today by myself to hook it in, and pretty heavy.
That green hose.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the one that comes out of that cell.
Oh.
And goes out.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's not over 12.
No.
So you got all of those pumps kick in when we get a big influx like this. They all kick in, and it didn't have the capacity. It's pumping more than it would go out, and the pressure would, and we was getting raw sewage in the treated cell. And it don't take a lot to.
Boost those.
The way I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, these two numbers that were bad on this last test, those are just coming in line. They're going to make you stick by them. They're not real strict on those two yet.
Not to us. No.
Yeah.
We're more worried about the CDOD, TSS, and pH right now.
And we were basically good on all of those.
Those numbers are perfect. When I send them to DNR, I don't even have to put ammonia or E. coli down.
Yeah.
So they don't even see those
When
numbers.
it's going to happen.
It's eventually going to come where it's going to have to. But as of right now, they don't even have to know
That's the
those
ones.
numbers.
But anyway, we need to get those hooked up.
Yeah.
Right.
But how does the riser prevent it, I guess? What is
It has an outlet. It has another 8-inch outlet.
And we pull that
So we
hose
gotta-
towards the lagoon we're
We
dumping
gotta-
into.
You're supposed to get it. You gotta
So
buy
that
a
it can
piece
get
of
more
PVC and extend that.
Yeah, that's just the way it was sitting, I thought it was hooked up, but clearly it's not.
There's a Frimco I got from Cherokee, from Lindell, that put those things.
Okay.
I wish if they had thin wall PVC, to me, to come out of there with an elbow, with some PVC, that thing's heavy. And it's not real flexible.
No.
It can be done, but
I think I'm gonna put a
it's
little.
gonna take two guys,
I think I'm
possibly three, to move it.
I'm gonna put a rope on the end, so that way we can, on the end of that hose, and pull it with a rope instead of just grabbing the hose itself.
Right.
So have we notified Irwin? I mean, he designed this thing 3 years ago. I
Well-
mean, he needs to be notified he designed it to run to capacity. If it's not running to capacity, that should be in the claim. It should be noted.
This kind of
Well,
works for
but-
me. I think.
But he's
Done.
not saying it was any kind of design problem or whatever.
It
He's
has to
saying-
be.
Well,
They have to
original
add this
design.
line in.
The original was a problem.
Oh,
The original, it didn't have the
we didn't have that type.
capacity. No, yeah, it did. If you were feeding both lagoons, you wouldn't have no problem.
No.
But not. When you feed one, you're pumping more in there than can get out. That 2 foot, I don't know, some of it went out that hole.
What's that?
Some of it went out that hole. You can tell, there's,
Scott,
and the pipe's not, so it went both ways.
he did not allow for both pumps running.
There's 4 in there, isn't there?
Yeah, but I
What's
meant,
that?
How many pumps in that lift?
3.
Yeah.
3.
one's a backup, the
Yeah.
other two are.
But-
One, and then there's 2 big ones.
Yeah, so,
They all kick in when there's a big influx.
but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, when he designed it, he did not give it enough capacity to run at full power.
There's not enough outlet.
Yeah. What were you saying?
The pumps pump more than can get away.
So we need to address
So
that.
they had to add that pipe because of that?
Yeah.
Because of poor
It's a
design.
flexi pipe, or,
I think the extra height, next to 2 feet, without a hole, that's what helped a
I
lot.
still would like to notify Sarah so that Irwin's aware that we're dealing with the problem of design.
Yeah, I think that you're right. That's what it is.
That's my only comment.
Only have 2 other things. I've had 2 people notifying me in the last 10 days. Nobody's ever been to their house on pump pumps.
That's because they would have to be not there. You need to recheck on some pumps, or you need the original.
Have we ever been back to the ones we found that weren't piped outside to see that they were hooked up proper?
I haven't been back to the Presbyterian Church, and I haven't been back to Lana Smith's. No,
But otherwise,
everybody
the other
else-
ones
everybody
were
else-
are legal.
we have to work on.
Bruce's didn't run for a while. Bruce Dierenfeld's hadn't been running for 3. I've had citizens notify me, I got water, how come Bruce is 3 getting wet?
It is
I
now.
was in there, and I seen that, it was legal, it was legal.
Yeah,
So
but it hasn't, for whatever reason, it hasn't been running outside.
I can't tell you that.
Did we ever go in commercial buildings? They're deep, like the bank.
No.
First.
We maybe need to go in hometown foods in the bank and the bank's buildings.
We can do that.
Rec center used to get 1.5 feet of water.
We can do that.
And when the sump pump quit running,
We can do that.
We know where they went.
only one other thing, the burn area. Do we ever haul any to the landfill?
I've got it arranged with Brow that when it gets up, he's gonna try to level that out. Because right now, all the stormwater from town runs right behind and runs right into the dump.
Has for years.
So he's going to take the dirt that's there and he's going to try to level it out and try to make it higher.
Dirt.
The ashes and stuff that's laying on the side, I mean, down there,
And you're gonna expect people to drive on top of the ashes they'll pack.
That's just to lift the burn trailer itself up.
Yeah, I realize.
Well,
We're gonna do that with ashes?
it's a lot of it's dirt. I mean, it's
It composes too.
yeah.
A lot more solid than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's.
Brown thought it was a good idea. I mean, I talked to Brown. He said we just leveled it out and made that side higher, and stuff like that. So
I trust
I don't know what the DNR is gonna say about it. We're gonna have to put up the... I'm surprised they let us have that there anyway, that stuff running in the creek.
oh, that's terrible down there. It's just a swamp on the backside. It's hard to work with.
Anyway, you got it.
Well, that's.
Well, yeah, I talked to Brown. We're gonna try to work something out. If not, we're gonna haul it away.
I'm surprised the elevator hasn't had to put up a barrier.
Yeah.
Even if we had it in a storm sewer, it still dumps into the creek. Whether creek falls into the creek.
But I mean, we used to, historically, there was as much went from the burn area to the landfill as the garbage, every month. The bill, tipping fee for the burn area would be the same as the garbage. If you were to start hauling a load of
It's
hay
very
down,
expensive to haul that heavy stuff to that.
and I don't know, I think we need to isolate our, make our burn pile a little smaller, it'll burn better than.
Yeah, I totally agree. But it just seems like it's all at once. There'll be just be everybody coming at once. It's not a little bit at a time anymore. It seems like.
That's the way the windstorms come.
Yeah. So
Storms have been.
you know, you go from a small pile to all of a sudden you got this monstrosity, and
And then certification, when you guys sign, if you agree to be certified within a year, then both.
correct.
I realize Jacob, you are raised dragging his feet a little.
Well, I've taken the test, but
Yeah.
they had a period of time, they weren't issuing these tests again. Now they've come back online and said, okay, we'll go back again. And I sent a notification here this last week.
What is that for? Is that water treatment?
Water treatment. And of course, you pump more water, so you.
And I'm hoping
Get a Class
since
two
Julie and me
yeah,
have talked
yeah.
about that, she said I will give you so much time. And the last 5 months since we talked about that, we've been under 100,000. And this month was 88,000, I think. So I'm hoping, because she was gonna every month she reconfigures the 12-month period, hoping she brings me back down. Then I don't have to take it. But I'm just hoping.
I assume possibly
To
that.
upgrade your,
Because right now, the way it sits, she's going to have to upgrade to grade 2. I have to go take another test.
okay.
But she said she's going to refigure it and give me so much time. And if it brings the 12-month back down, she'll let me off, and I won't have to do that.
When you guys were hired, we also talked about the spraying, like getting some sort of certification in spraying. Has anybody checked into that at all?
No, I guess
See what-
I wasn't aware. I can look into it.
Well,
That's no big
I know
deal.
we talked about it.
Yeah.
I'd like to have you both, or I think it'd be a good idea. When we're spraying the park and, there's kids playing there and
Mhm.
stuff. We could at least put flags up there and act like that's it.
That's all right. Yeah, we try to do it.
And
It's hard to.
I think you ought to raise the mower up a little bit. Mow a little bit above the ground instead of, I don't know, don't the dust fly and the rocks and stuff fly when
I guess we're mowing it an inch taller than what I mow my yard. So, I mow my yard
Well, I
pretty
don't know,
short.
it can't be good for the mower, and there's a black strip halfway around half the park and out here. It appeared to me that,
But when
can you adjust one side of the
Yeah, go
mower
ahead.
above the other?
when you're doing near the curbside, there's.
Yeah, but raise the mower up.
Okay, I mean, then
I
you might not.
This time of year, you're supposed to leave the grass 3 inches tall.
I did see,
Yeah, it's-
I guess I did see one spot if you look at this northwest corner where you walk in, and there is kind of a hill there, or, it kind of comes up from the sidewalk. There's
In the
probably
park, or?
in the park, there's
Oh.
a triangle spot, probably that big, that's just dirt.
Okay.
And the problem with those, if you do skin them like that, because guys that remove snow for me do that all the time, but that'll get overrun with weeds, and it's just more of a hassle to try to fix it.
What were you looking at when you walked in here?
I saw it earlier today. I mean, just driving down the road, it was
You go out front here,
I didn't
you
know.
got it on the sidewalk side and the other side and over here. It's just a matter of raising the motor up a little bit,
That's no problem.
I think.
We can do that.
Just a suggestion.
It can be
All right.
short, but if you get down to the
Yeah, that's fine. No big deal.
I guess, you guys got anything else?
No.
Hey, you eat some supper. You still have your heads. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
I have questions for,
Okay.
before they leave, actually, because I'm doing the bills. This tire for the garbage truck's like $387 for one tire.
Yeah, we probably will be going back to him. We got the tire in the garbage truck got punctured, so it was ruined. We had Galen come down, replaced it on site,
Get pulled out.
and stuff. He had to get pulled out of landfill. It got a hole punctured in it, so he replaced it on site.
And that.
Next time I'm gonna look at a Graham tire, because I think they got a tire puncture, a roadside warranty thing. I'll look into that next time. Because Bodie and D&D wouldn't do it, that's why we went out of town.
Okay.
So we took it around, and Bodie's just too big of a truck for him, and D&D didn't want to mess
What
with
was that
him.
one?
This is GNC's
They are
service
expensive.
station.
Jacob Ray, if
And it was
Down there.
$462 total. The
If
tire
you can
itself
get a
was
90.
$87, but
An elbow for
it's a
it.
lot
To
for
come
one
out of
tire,
there.
too, but
and your sleeves and that will fit it, that would make it much easier to me. You just have to flop it over.
Flop it over.
You'd have to unloosen and
Yeah.
loosen that clamp, but just turn that part and
Okay.
reattach it.
I'll probably get
You play it by ear, but
try a couple different things and see what works
this Brown's got the 8-inch PVC down
there. Okay.
for your extension. You'll have
Okay.
whichever way it needs the longest. It needs to be extended so it dumps it at least past the riprap. You don't
Yeah.
want to dump it.
Yeah, it's gotta be on the down.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be out in the riprap. You don't want it in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
dirt part.
Yeah.
And,
part of the way.
Get it for, it's a little farther one way than the other, but
Okay.
I got to thinking about that, and it might be easier to turn something rather than, but
My
hook it up the way it is, and if it don't look to you like it works the way it should,
okay.
get an idea.
Okay.
then,
No problem.
my other question, Ray, this test that you missed on then, when, are you rescheduled already to retake it then?
They haven't called me back for a scheduled time on it, no. But everything has been sent in, so I'm being applied for it, or for retaking this.
Okay, but you don't know when it'll be offered again, or when?
These tests you gotta apply for and stuff, and they have certain times. You gotta talk with the office in Des Moines and stuff. And
Okay. Can you let us know by next meeting, or I mean, just inquire?
I'm assuming right now that it's gonna be within a week's time or so that I'll be taking that exam.
Because this says you took it December, I mean.
Right. And then they
Wait
had,
6 months.
then they had a hiatus where they weren't giving it at all because they were gonna decide on how to handle test 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever it was.
I'm just kind of wondering why we aren't seeing this till now, because even this letter's dated December 21. When did it, so they must have let us know, they let us know December 21st,
for what?
that the test results?
Oh, yeah, I got test results in Turkey. At that time already, yeah.
We knew then he didn't pass.
Oh,
I think we talked about
If they
it.
just
Yeah.
give me the dang 2 points, I would have been okay.
2 points.
Anyhow,
I don't get any smarter.
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And if, it'd been nice to have been out there, but that had to come in sometime Sunday during the night more, but it's just like as if it's just right there in the sewer, and I can't understand how that could be, that water, just that quick.
Yeah.
It's like it's running down the hole and running right in there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. But we'll get her figured out.
Well, we
I'll
never-
probably have that done this week.
Did we really think we had the infiltration problem solved, or was the aerator just making it, go down so fast? Because other than some pumps, we really hadn't.
Well, you're always gonna have infiltration just because of cold lines. I mean,
No, but
just-
we went from March to June without, you
Big
usually,
influx.
Yeah.
yeah, and you didn't have to, so.
Well, like I said, the tests have been down,
Yeah.
or the numbers have been down, and then for some reason lately,
But the
the last
water
probably month.
levels have been down too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've got the rain for those 10 days, I can tell you. But that one was the only big event. The
Yeah, that,
Other than 6/10 or
Yeah.
something, there wasn't nothing there.
yeah.
But it took it 4 days after that 42.8. It was down to 199.
Yeah.
We lost a bunch. Less, it was less than half.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling.
So it's just like as if that water, when it comes out of the sky, it's in the sewer. And it's got, it tells me it almost has to be coming down somebody's downspout.
Yeah.
Yeah, rainwater.
And we have wastewater classes on the August 16th. I may pick some rains there, our water and stuff, and see if they know.
One thing about it is it's nice clean water.
Yeah.
It's a very common problem.
Because Iowa Water can do a lot of free services, and maybe they know of a way to find.
I brought it up to the League of Municipality meetings, and it's not just us, everybody's got.
Thanks again, guys.
I know last year Julie or somebody told me that one town had in one night had almost 1.3 million go into their lagoon in one night.
Well, we had 750,000.
Yeah. That was the same night. This one town had about 1.5 million, 1.3 million in there going on that. So
Anyway.
thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, the park board wants their allotted funds for.
She didn't bring it to me.
No,
The only thing I didn't have an actual proposal written up. I mean, they are going to do some of the border around. They put in the new screen doors.
I'd like to
And
make
then
it, not to interrupt,
countertop.
interrupt, because I'd like to see just a full report. I'd just like to make a motion, we table it till next month, and we ask them for an accounting of
What they're going to do around the bottom.
I'll second that.
Outside, this is outside, something with.
By the fireplace where it was rotten.
Yeah, but
There's some
supposed
other
to grow
places
up on
too,
the
yeah.
outside for a long, long time, and it never dried, and it rotted, some of those.
yeah.
They got
But
places
that
where you
siding's
probably
already
can
here.
almost see
That was a
inside.
maintenance item.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that, part of
Yeah.
it, they wanted the city to pay for maintenance, and that was the
Mm-hmm.
371 or 317.
Yeah, it was a few $100.
We already Yeah. did that.
You have a motion and second.
I second it.
All in favor?
Right.
While they're on the park.
No, he wants to,
It's some out of towners that really commented about how nice City Park was. They were impressed with popcorn.
Building permit.
building permits,
It's right there.
Who's that one, Scott?
Chain link fence.
what'd you find up to Smith's? You turn him, Dave Smith's, you turn him
Oh,
loose?
yeah, no, that was fine. He was well within.
Okay.
And Kevin Mason with his fence, he was 3 or 4
South
feet
Selkirk.
inside his property line.
Jacobson.
And not outside of his
Aaron
garage,
Jacobson.
the existing garage.
But they're off on what they're looking at there, and so I told them Gene would probably go up and measure, because their lot is only 80 by 150, and as you can see across the back there, they're trying to say 83.5 foot fence. I said, your lot's only 80 foot. I know something's not right
Well,
here.
they couldn't go clear to the,
Well, they can't go clear to the street, so they measured over 12 foot from the curb, because it's 40, the street's
Yeah.
60,
You're
so it should
thinking
be
they got
30
100
plus
by
foot.
100?
Huh?
He's out there thinking they got 100 by 100.
100 by
Well, I
150.
told them it's only 80 by 150, but they're way off. They said, well, we started measuring. I said, no, somewhere you're off. So I said, Jean's really good about measuring and stuff. So I got her numbers, and she said she had tried to call you to talk to you
Is
about it.
Tammy?
Erin Jacobson's
Aaron
wife,
Jacobson.
Sarah Jacobson.
Oh, okay.
And so
Okay.
she's doing this fence, and the building permit's
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
way off on what she's
Okay.
doing.
Okay, well, we'll look into it.
Ray, I'd be subject to approval once Gene
Gene, yeah.
supervises the
Second to that.
measurements.
I second it.
I don't think I've seen
All
that.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
We're gonna stay.
It's all you.
Yeah,
About
yeah.
me?
No, we're gonna let you measure it.
Yeah.
If you feel it's right.
Oh, here. I just wanna-
We're giving you the
That matter.
authority to
Yeah.
approve it.
Agreement with DOT on 110. Number
Okay.
11.
Well, Brian, they contacted Brian instead of me, so.
They came, they decided that they would run the survey for the speed. I've been more than 10 years, so I did contact Luella Foreman.
Yeah.
LaBelle.
LaBelle for, I contacted her so that she knew not to be scared, somebody's gonna be out there, sitting there.
I followed the truck down there at noon, and it appeared that he was going and he wasn't even going 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, they're, like I said earlier, they're gonna check that pipe, and if they need to, they're gonna water jet that pipe. They're gonna get the pipe to function 100% or fix it.
On
They're
their
gonna blow a
property.
hole in Arlie Miller's basement.
No, they'll only go to their easement, then we'll
Just
have to
their
hook
property
on.
line.
It's fine till their easement, I can tell them where they're going.
Yep, yeah, but they're gonna make sure it's the full diameter, but the beehive will remain
Yeah.
where it is. There won't be no modification, it is where it is.
But their easement, do they have a map where it goes?
Yes, they do, and I am to get a copy of that. They
Okay.
do have a copy, and I do have the guy in Storm Lake and the guy in Sioux City's card, so that,
Good.
Gene, one of the things Gene had mentioned was to get the millings off the highway back down, to get the curb, the gutter. He said that'd probably be 3 or 4 years before they did that, and I said we needed to be notified so we can get our manholes down and the,
Get back down to our gutter. Well, we've lost our gutter, but they won't do it just right now, but the next time the street's done, then we'll.
They need to grind it out and get it down.
Yeah.
we did some good because
Road bad down in front of Martin.
we did some good because the guy who came from Sioux City, I don't think realized how bad it was
Yeah.
until he walked it. You know, it's different driving it. When he walked it, he said, "I'll get it in." He says, "We don't have a lot of budget for that, but I will get it in." So,
Then the curb line, that's the end of their ability. What we've got our gutter, we've got our curb, and then the dirt just slopes way up high. Very difficult to mow, very difficult to plow snow. It's just a buildup of all the trash that lands on the highway, snowplow puts it there. The salt and the sand goes there, okay. But they would not cut that down. They said that's our problem, even though they caused it. So I think someday we might want to go up there and cut that off. I did one for a party, well, it was Abe Martin at the time, and he had a terrible time trying to mow, and I went in there with a blade and the motor. Can't believe how much dirt moved off there, but it's kind of dangerous to do it yourself. And, so we may want to look at doing that, but they would not be concerned about that one.
they want their easement, but they don't want to do
The
the
last
dirt
time
work.
they did 110, they we raised cane then because they were eliminating
Well,
that curb.
So far, they've been totally uncooperative, and all of a sudden, this was a very productive meeting,
I
so.
think we got to the right guy.
Well, is it because we haven't signed that agreement or
Nope,
whatever?
nope.
Yeah.
He was like, that's pretty standard. We understand that. He said,
I just don't think
But,
anybody
and,
would
and they'll wait for us to sign that agreement
I
until
just told
after
him-
we get the map and whatever?
no, I just told him we'd get it.
Not by that level.
I just said if they would do the things they said, we were
Right there.
agreeable.
So it's ongoing. They're not worried about the fact that it's not signed.
You kept sending those
Okay,
emails
so that's
I got.
handled, correct?
It's an
No.
idiot.
No, it started, that's a good
This
start.
guy's an idiot. Oh.
Permits, that's the only permit problem.
I recommended that we sign it based on his, in our resolution, that he agreed to do these things. And attach his information to that.
We need that writing first before we sign this.
It's up to you guys, whatever you want to do. I think,
Some of the things we've had in writing didn't fare with well.
yeah. And I did see within days they were down patching and working on the road, and so
Well, that's
I think we're on the right track.
where we put that rock and stuff under that thing, Jason Ray did that year or so ago, where it was
Yep.
under mine, on he said that road really impacted there.
Yep. So I don't know about the rest of you. I'm in favor of signing it because I think they're going to come through. But
Well, the state.
They were really tied up with the flood problems. They had a lot bigger fish to fry than our little highway.
Yeah.
One of the problems.
Why have they totally ignored us before when we talked about, we've made calls about the beehive.
it took Gene and I a lot of calls, but we finally,
They got the right
Fortunate.
person, I think.
But you
Fortunate.
They
really,
probably figured you'll give up.
but you really feel like he will come through?
yeah, I really did. He was pretty genuine about it all. He just said, "Hey, I've got at the day." He said, "I got I-29 shut down. I've got 30 shut down."
No, I
he's like,
understand all that.
he's like,
And I assume you got his card, so you get the
I
right
got-
number to call next time. or-
Yeah.
Sarah and Jeff.
But
Aaron.
it's just such a
Aaron.
radical departure from
Jeff's the dad.
past experience with them. I mean,
and I just took the approach. I said, "Look, I don't want you to stop and drive to Schaller,
Jeff's
but when you come to Storm Lake to your district meeting, would you call me? Would you stop? I'll make my time available," and that's what he did. He handed the card and said, "Here." And we went and looked at the spots. He said, "I'm in a real hurry. Tell me what you need," and he agreed, and away he went. So.
bear with me, I'm just reading.
The agreement basically favors them.
Well, that doesn't shock me.
I read it 6 weeks ago, or a month.
Yeah.
Or so. I started saying it in March 6th.
Well, one thing that I felt was, and maybe it's just me, but I feel we got a higher traffic count after they start doing the construction over here, going up to D15 and across to get back on New 20. So that was another reason they're going to put a guy out there to do some research. But I do think we're getting a higher traffic count.
I couldn't believe what they had when they were thinking about detouring through here when they were working down here, the amount of cars.
They estimated, I believe it's either 21 or 2,300 a day. So we'll see what the new number is.
Highway 20 project made TV news a couple times a day,
Yep.
93. Okay, are you
I have no
okay
problem.
with Brian's proposal to sign? Doc,
Yeah.
do you think we need a written agreement from them to follow through on?
If you're gonna have them
I'm
down,
not
yeah,
sure
you're-
I think, I'd like to have one, I'm just not sure we'll get one from somebody. You know, I mean, they got further in that conversation than we've ever gotten before, but they've just been so uncooperative in the past. I'm just
Can we
wondering-
put an attachment on there, this agreement was signed based on the gentleman's comments?
His desk probably looks like yours.
Or that gonna get him in trouble?
Yeah, you can
That
always,
wasn't fair.
you can always do that, I don't know
Well,
if
you
they'll,
lawyers, you lawyers tell me what,
you can always do that, I don't know if they'll accept it like that, but you can always do that. I'd sign it that way, you know, this accepted subject to the representations made by so-and-so and
We have his cards with the
our
information.
meeting of such and such a date. I'd be fine with it that way.
That's fine with me, if that's what you want.
We could add.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if somebody has their doubts, I think that would take care of the doubts, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We can add an addendum to it. It's attached.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second here. Where are we at in the process?
Brian already made the motion to
No,
Decide.
not if he's
not,
adding this.
you'll have to change it to the,
Subject,
adding
subject to that friendly amendment, do I
Gotta
have
give
to?
us a chance to talk to him, get on the.
Well, I guess you gotta vote on the amendment, don't you?
do you want to do it this way? Do you want to contact him and then have him send
We will.
us something
Have him send this in writing.
as with your talk with him, what he agreed to do, and
He will respond by email, that is one
Yeah.
nice thing. You send him an email,
We
he does
will.
respond.
But
We
it'd
will
make
talk
it
to you,
easier
get
to
on
sign
that
the form if you'd say reference an email or whatever,
Yeah.
so
why don't
You
we
can
do
do
it
that.
that way? It's up to you, you can do it either way, but I say let
But
him
once you
send back,
want to have that and you're
No.
satisfied, just
We
sign
will
it.
be,
and we'll just attach it to this agreement.
well,
I'm okay
after
with
we
that.
do the culvert.
You may have to talk to somebody else before you may not be able to do that, just all.
This Mr., was it Todd Huju? Huju.
Yeah.
He is the guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He said, I'm the
Well-
guy that deals with it, period,
Well,
if it's that highway.
wouldn't you feel better that way?
Yeah, I would.
Send us something.
We'll send him correspondence and let him.
Okay. And you want to okay signing that at this meeting
Yeah.
Once we get the
Depending on-
correspondence,
If you're
on,
satisfied with the
on his,
correspondence.
what we get back?
Yeah.
I'll bring the correspondence to Marcia and then you guys can look at it.
You can email it to you,
We're-
whatever.
He's not worried about it getting signed today.
All right. Let's have a motion to that effect then.
I'll make that one.
What you said.
When you receive
The email, once you
Well, we
get
can
the
vote on
addendum.
his and vote, turn that down.
Yeah.
do we approve it subject to some commitment?
Correspondence with
Written
it.
commitment to complete those other things. And I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Wastewater project.
What happened to tax abatement application?
They weren't in,
Finished
so we
done.
crossed them out.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And the date is what?
Yeah, that's not
That's
complete
not
either.
complete.
Those both.
And this-
Yeah.
Yeah.
This engineer basically he basically says what Wayne Hansen said.
Do it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not,
This part, he says that some of it too dry and some of it was too wet. It can be both ways. You can need a certain amount of moisture to compact. If it's too dry, it won't compact.
they're too deep for a
And
slurry.
I think, yeah, according to the specs for refilling,
Did you get the
6
second?
inches, like I said, a post, Gene, you don't fill the hole and then start topping. You throw a shovel full in the top if your post is going to be solid. And this is the way the road deal. This guy says, and it reads in the specs he mentioned, 6 inches, and then you compact.
Yeah.
And I was around when they were doing some of that, and that's not the way it was.
Yeah. Do we have the correspondence from the second set of drawings from Jericho? No, okay.
Now, did General show up today?
Nope,
There was an email that they were coming.
and they didn't.
And they didn't.
I thought Sarah's letter was coming. Did everybody get that?
Yeah, with that.
I thought we finally got
To the point?
Yeah.
So her question that she kind of posed the other day is then, at this point, so especially since they didn't show up and they aren't at this meeting when she suggested that they could come, and that maybe we're at the point of having to declare them in default, period,
I
and
agree.
go through the bond council and say they have defaulted.
They don't show, we just go to the bonding company.
That we need to maybe just declare them in default.
Make another motion.
What the
Scott.
hell else to do?
Okay.
Uh,
We can't sit here and do that. And that's all
Yeah.
it is. They're just like this.
They just figure, right?
We can't show them around by ourselves.
Ray? Scott's got a motion.
I move that we declare them in default in performance under the bond, performance bond.
Default in performance.
Yeah.
of,
Yeah, it's just one more failure to show today. Just gotta seal the deal. Where did the talk about seal, the slurry seal, how that gets started up?
They were here with the engineer, that's where they proposed.
Well,
They brought an assistant Carroll County engineer or something up here.
we'd asked to see some
Example.
examples of roads
Yeah.
that had it on for like 5 years, but we just have
Did
the
anybody
list.
go see?
I,
They're too deep. I mean, the holes are so deep, it's not worthy.
I think it's past that.
yeah,
Well, the thing with it, she put it in on top and keep settling.
Peel it
Yeah.
off with the
Then
snow
you
plow.
got-
it's still gonna keep settling.
You can still have to put more in, and then you got to,
We got a motion.
Well, I
Got a
the
motion.
original of that DOT thing, I think I do.
Marcy, will you second?
I'll second.
second it.
Yes.
That's the old one, yeah, there's another one, yeah.
Okay.
Marcy second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Did anybody get this besides me and Kurt vote?
Yeah. I gave copy to everybody at the last meeting.
We have a copy.
He wants to get involved with us if we go to the bonding company. What can he do for us? What's Sarah think about that?
She wanted to know what you had to say, why all of a sudden he was addressing this letter to you, and
I have
why all
no
of a sudden
idea
we
why
got
he
this
called me.
communication. She
He
was
just
like,
called me to see what was going on, Marcia.
why would he out of the blue after he hasn't even answered her or her,
He
she's
hasn't
contacted the
been
attorney
communicating.
and.
He's quite
He
a
dropped
little
off.
bit like general excavation. He hasn't been communicating
I
either.
think he's beginning to see the finger point toward them instead of him, and he's going, let me jump on too,
He's
you know.
wanting to save his legal back.
I think would be a good thing to ask him why and get a clarification from him before you ask him to get back in, but,
I'd
Of course,
want-
I don't
You think we need to ask him about ducking some communication and all of a sudden it's,
I'd like a letter or an
What
email
is
from
his
him,
name?
Gene
saying,
brought up,
asking why he hasn't communicated, why he wants to be
Gene brought up
involved.
Personally, I don't think he works for us anymore. There's I know.
is that correct? Is that how we have it?
We've hired a different engineer, we've hired a.
I don't think we've technically fired him.
You've not technically fired him. He has not answered, nor has his attorney answered the last few letters that she has sent. And his attorney told her that she was not to contact him directly. I wasn't contacting him because we've gone through the attorney to handle this.
So-
Then he called Ray and spoke with Ray. Then he sent a letter addressed to Ray.
So I guess my comment would be that I, as a council member, would like to see our attorney contact him and just get some sort of correspondence from him indicating why he hasn't been corresponding up to this point and why he wants to be involved now.
I'm okay with that.
And what he believes he might be able to do for us by being involved now.
I think Sarah has, Marcia just told you, Sarah has tried to talk to him.
Well, I
And
understand.
his attorney told him not to talk to Sarah.
Well, and if he calls you back, Ray, say, Sarah's gonna be in touch with you, you know, please respond to her.
Or the attorney.
Council is wondering
Or
why.
his attorney.
Yeah.
He
The
can
city
speak
is
to his
wondering
attorney.
why all of a sudden he has taken an interest.
When he fell off the face of the earth there for a while.
And
We're
we
still
thought
owing,
maybe,
what, 7 or 8
you know,
thousand?
4,000 plus 4,500.
Well, I have a sister once, guys. There was a girl in town that nobody befriended. Was in her class. And she chose two. And she told my folks, Dad and Mama, everybody needs a friend. So, for whatever reason. Everyone called me, I didn't hang the phone up.
I guess I'm missing the point. Did your sister make you go out with her then?
Yeah, I didn't feel like to deal with Sarah.
This girl didn't have a real good reputation.
Is that all we need?
Whether it was earned or,
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Is that all you want on 11?
Well, I would say if you guys
Or
are
12, excuse me.
happy with Sarah contacting Irwin and finding out why all of a sudden are you interested?
Yep.
Irwin or Irwin's attorney, whatever. it is.
And how he feels he can help us
I
with
guess,
bonding company.
I guess it might not hurt to see if he thinks there'll be an additional charge for that service too.
Well, yeah, we need to know what it's
Yeah.
gonna cost.
Uh-huh.
We need to know what.
Yeah, it's serious from the rain. That's the only thing I have. I'd just like to send them a letter asking them, hey, this is kind of a courtesy.
Been kind of a,
Maybe you didn't know, but now you do know.
kind of a thing
The
that's always
convention.
happened, you know.
That's the only thing I have.
People that overuse it to help correct the problem.
Who would speak to Schmidt about her?
I think we could just send their office a letter.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The only thing I had, I talked to Jake right when he came in tonight. Got sewer smell. It's sewer smell backup at Lobos and telephone company. We haven't, basically done.
Basements, what?
Oh, it's coming up the tracks or whatever.
Sure
The
enough.
problem is what the Rote brothers were in, and there's no breather holes in the manhole covers. And so they think it would alleviate the holes in the manhole covers. And Clyde happened to be there and said, yeah, they should have holes in the manhole covers. So I talked to Jake and he said, well, I'll get right on it, but he doesn't, when we put this, whoever put the manhole covers on, they don't
I've got-
have breathers in.
I've got a magnetic drill. You just gotta lift them off and we can
Yeah,
drill
he
it.
said he'd get right on it.
Latest thinking is that manhole covers should not have holes. Every house on Clyde.
That's
No.
infiltration.
Well,
Oh, okay, I
because
see what
of
you're
the
saying, but they said
infiltration.
that would be the easiest costing thing. I don't know what else.
but
I would
it's
think that-
also not unless you've always had this problem, that's not what caused it. If those manhole covers have been solid for some
See,
time.
if your trap gets dry,
Right, but
you
Yes.
get.
Oh, and we know
Yes,
that.
but-
I'm not here for the trouble, but when Sam came in from Lobos, because he's got such a backup smell.
it just started.
Yeah, and he just came in and said, well, I know you guys have had it before, and I said, yeah, it's outside, but they just water down that.
I usually get it after a good rain.
Fine.
If you have a sink or something, you don't use
Well,
your
and-
mouse and it evaporates out.
Oh, yeah, and I have that upstairs once in a while.
Yeah.
And that solves it most of the time, and that's what Sam should do too. And I don't know that we should be putting holes in our.
Well,
According to general, general is a source of information, but they don't do that anymore because of infiltration.
Okay, well,
Every-
I don't know anything
Yeah.
about breather holes and manhole covers, they said they usually do have them, that's what I was told.
It would tend to vent sewer lines too, but we should do some research before we go drill holes.
I would suspect.
I can do it if somebody needs it done.
Yeah, well, you
They're
tell
all
Jake
vents.
then what we
I
said,
just-
because I just figured it was
I
a
just
thing that
wonder
was done.
Yep.
if in either one of those situations, like in a house, 10 feet from whatever, a trap is the rule of as far away as you can be with a vent that goes to the roof. And in those buildings, there's been, in Sam's, I know there's been stools that I didn't, you know.
Yeah, there should be a vent up there because it's too far.
It's supposed to be within 10 feet of,
Yeah. Probably their own vent problem.
but in Sam's, it's not a new thing. I mean, both of them haven't done anything. They're the same basic building. The plumbing hasn't been changed in either place for who knows.
So as far away, restrooms in both buildings, maybe not either. But, you know, they added
Like
the
I
ones
said, we
to
just
the
put water
far
in the
south
trap.
end of
But
You
Lobo.
can check it out though. I mean,
How long did I have at the phone?
Oh,
you eat breakfast
we
up
just
there, you
add,
can
I
check it
just
out.
said phone
Okay.
company
Yeah.
because once in a while, but we just water
Yeah.
the trap and it's gone. I mean, it's not a big deal.
That's usually the fix.
No, yeah, it's not a big deal.
And I would say if those bathrooms weren't vented at all, he'd have had a problem before now.
Well, he's got one
Maybe the
That-
vent
that's
hasn't matched
probably
from the
been used.
accident.
since the car hit.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
a distinct
Yeah.
possibility.
That could have dried out from my
Yeah.
views.
Well, maybe boats are the one that's doing the bathrooms, they have to fix it.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that told him that the manhole, you know, was
A
breathing
quick,
holes, and I
easy
don't know.
answer for them, because they don't have to do anything,
Well,
right?
Well,
I knew nothing about it, I just,
I personally, the amount of manholes are generally in the middle of the street. That's supposed to be the high point.
well,
There would be some infiltration there, but it's not 300,000 gallons a day.
no, no.
I would think you could get by, I mean, we need to research, but I would think you could get by with a series of holes in it.
But I think the new ones we put in are probably unvented.
I'm gonna look, I don't know.
Yeah.
Unvented. Unvented, you
Well,
said.
if you'll research it, then you can tell Jake, because I just told him about it, he goes, well, I can look into that, well, I don't,
Yeah.
so,
It's thick licensed plumber.
yeah, yeah. Well, Volts is the one that told him that would be a fix, so,
When are you going?
when am I gone? As soon as possible.
Just so we know.
I'm leaving on the 21st.
July?
I'll be back on the 30th, but I won't be attending the 20th meeting because I'm gonna be ready to go on the 21st.
Anything else,
Is
Diana?
that what you're saying?
No,
Anything
that's
else?
it.
I don't have
You want approval of the claims?
Pay the bills.
You see anything? in
it.
there?
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Not that you brought up, no.
I haven't got it.
It's just that one expensive tire.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to pay the claims.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Out of here.
I'll second that motion.
Seconded by whom?
The whole place?
All in
Who
favor?
didn't?
No.
Aye.
Oh, God.
Truck.